So I'm here today in the middle of Magnetic Island. I'm on the Nelly Bay to Arcadia trek, or well I was. I followed the trek in a couple hundred meters, and now I'm following this river. It's going to the north. I'm not too sure where it leads, but I'm just going to follow it and explore the area a bit, and hopefully I'll find something to photograph. Now, I've always struggled with this type of photography, which is woodland photography, because there's just so much chaos that goes on in the woodland, especially up here in tropical North Queensland. Just so much going on, so much distraction, and it's hard for me to find a composition that I like. And so far I haven't found anything, but I'm going to keep pressing up on the creek bed. And I really have no idea what I'm looking for or what I want to photograph. I'm just kind of looking around and seeing if something catches my eye. I guess I'm looking for maybe something of unison, like something in uniform, like a certain amount of leaves or trees, or just something simple, like some simplicity in this chaos of the woods here. But I'll just keep going and see if I find anything. So I'm hiking along and I spotted this spider. I don't know if, probably can't see it, but I'll try and get some better footage of it. It's the biggest spider I've seen in Australia so far. It's about the size of my hand, huge. Not sure what kind it is, it's a black and yellow. Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna go around this one. Don't want to walk through that. Whew. That spider was absolutely huge. Its body was about the size of my thumb. Well, I'm going to keep pressing on and see if I can find any photographs. So I ended up turning around and I'm heading back the way I came. That way was sort of a dead end. It started to climb up the mountain, and I don't really want to go any higher. I kind of want to stay low in the valley because I am looking for some water to put in a photograph because that adds some interest. And the higher up I would go, the less chance I'd find water up there, just because it hasn't rained in a few days, so the riverbeds are all dry. So really my only hope's finding a puddle of water that hasn't dried out yet. So back about 100 yards or so, this riverbed kind of forked off going to the left. So I'm going to go back and then follow the left fork of the river up and see if I can find anything there. Alright, so I was hiking back and I noticed these 4 trees right here. They're getting some sunlight still, and they're kind of interesting because they're real close apart, but I can frame it just right so there's a gap in between each one. So I'm going to set up my tripod and yeah, hopefully get an image before all the light goes away. So I've got a composition here, and I'm shooting at 1/200th of a second, f2.8, ISO 100, and I'm actually switching between f8 and f2.8, just focusing on the tree closest to me, and then at 2.8, and it kind of makes the other ones a little bit blurry, and I'm also trying it at f8, and that makes all 4 of the trees sharp. So this isn't the normal type of photography I do, so I'm not really sure how it's going to come out. And even with the light that was on the trees, it's a pretty harsh light, so there'll have to be some dodging and burning and post-processing to make it look pleasing. But we'll see how it comes out. But I'm going to pack up and then keep heading down. I'm actually just going to head out the way that I came, because that's where the water was in the river, and I do want to kind of get an image with the water in it, and kind of hiking up more towards the north. They just all kind of go up the mountains, all the riverbeds, and then there's no water up there. So I'm going to go back and explore and see if I can find something. Well, that was a bit of excitement there. One of those big spiders that I saw a ways back. I was hiking through the bush right there, and one got stuck on my tripod of my video camera. So I had to remove it with a stick. That wasn't too good. But yeah, I really couldn't get footage of it because it was on the camera that I'm recording with. So I had to set that down and then gently take it off. Well, alright. I'll keep looking for compositions now. So I did end up finding another composition here. What I'm using is I have about 4 rocks in the foreground here, and they kind of make a 7 shape and then kind of an S curve into this palm leaf there. And then the background's just the other palm leaves, and then just the jungle in the background. It's turned out to be alright. I've got a circular polarizer on there to cut off the glare from the water, and a 3-stop grad filter just because the sky is still kind of bright and a little bit of the sky is in my image, so I'm using that to kind of balance out the image more. It's turned out looking alright. 15-second exposure, f8 ISO 100. And I am going to have to focus stack this one because the rocks in the foreground are very close to the camera. And it is better at spots like this to wait until almost sunset, just because when the sun's shining through here, it's real bright and it causes for a high dynamic range in the scene. So as the sun goes down, it gets a little bit darker and a little bit more balanced. So the sky's not going to be too blown out, and there's not too much difference between the bright sky and the dark foreground. So I can just use a graduated filter to balance it out a lot easier than I could if it was earlier in the day. So now that it's getting dark, it's looking a lot better, and I can do some long exposures as well, so doing about 25 to 30 seconds, and this just really smooths out the water of the creek really good, and that way I don't have to use any other filters besides just the graduated filter. And this spot's about actually right where I started this hike today, because the trail is just right behind me. So yeah, it's pretty much sunset now. It's about to get dark here in a minute, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I got a couple images that were okay, not my usual type of photography, but hopefully trying to progress at woodland photography a little bit. So had a good amount of adventuring, exploring the area. I don't think I'll do this trek again to try and take images, just because there's really nothing further on down up the river. This area here is kind of nice, but everything else I don't think so. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.